I'm debt free. I don't know if you've heard, but I still like to reflect on my debt journey, my debt story. And in my last debt story video, I talked about my student loans. And in today's video, I'm talking about my credit card debt. Now, this credit card debt is dead, honey. So this is like a tale from the crypt. Oh, I love that show. And I have used credit cards, believe me. So I'm not going to go through all of my history. We will be here all day. I'm going to touch on some of the high points, the big moments in my credit debt history. It starts with me being a freshman in college, and I remember being bombarded with credit card offers. And I took the bait on one of them. And my first credit card that I received, I can't remember the names and all that stuff, y'all. This is digging way back, okay? But I can't remember the names. I do remember vividly that the credit limit on my first credit card was $9,000. That. And I remember even at the time thinking like, $9,000? Like, what in the world? I honestly felt like I tried to keep that in check. At the time, like I would use my credit card for, sometimes meals. That's not the best thing, but gas for my car repair. I would use it for books if I needed to buy books, things like that. And again, I tried to keep it in check as best I could, but I did still graduate with multiple cards. And after graduation and working as an admissions counselor for about a year, I returned home and I quickly realized that I needed some help. I needed some help kind of getting this together. So I rounded up my debts and went to a credit counselor. And if you don't know what credit counseling is, at least this is what it was back then for me. There's a company who works sort of like as a liaison between you and your creditors, your credit debt, and they get in touch with them and they work out an agreement where you will pay less somehow, either by a lower interest rate or a lower payment for a period of time. And you send one payment to this credit counseling company and they send the payment to your creditors. And built into that once a month payment is a fee to the credit counseling company. So I decided this is what I was going to do. So I went in and I sat down with another Black woman like myself who was probably about 20 years older than me. And I remember she pulled up my credit report and she essentially went through and said, which one do you want us to manage for you? So do you want us to manage this one? Yes. This one? Yes. She got to my Victoria's Secret account and she said, do you want us to manage your Victoria's Secret account? And I said, no, I'll hang on to that one. And she chuckled. And I remember at the time feeling a bit embarrassed. I was like, man, I don't even want to be here anyway. And I remember just kind of feeling bad in that moment. I just felt ashamed, I guess you would say. Though at the same time, sitting where I am here today, that lady knew then what I know now. And that is, if you don't get your head in the game about this debt, if you don't get serious about eradicating this debt, repaying, eliminating this debt, and changing your behavior, you're going to be dealing with this for a lot longer than you intend. And now you're here now to try to get this taken care of. And she didn't say all this to me, but I know now. You're here now to get this taken care of, but your head is not in the game if you feel like you can manage debt. Now, some people feel like they can, and I'm not coming down on you, but if you're trying to get rid of it, then get rid of it. So that company took over managing a handful of accounts for me. I walked out of there and I think my payment was about $200 and some. Even at the time, I knew that I couldn't pay that. Unfortunately, I didn't pay it. I was inconsistent with my payments and they dropped me from the program, and I kept on toiling and toying around with credit card debt. In 2009, I finally started making decent money. And so around that time, I really started to manage my money a bit better. And I was able to find debt payoff plans as far back as 2011. I realized at some point that I was essentially budgeting to afford debt, not to eliminate it or repay it. And I slowly started to head towards what I have today, which is debt freedom. Here is where I pick up and I share my debt amounts with you. So what I'm going to do is go year by year. So here are the number of credit card accounts that I have, the balance of those credit cards, and my overall debt balance, so you know how much of my total debt was credit card debt. So we're starting in 2011. In 2011, I had 3 credit cards. The balance was $3,600, and my overall debt balance was almost $14,000. It was about $13,956. And wow, Can you imagine if I had gotten done with debt in 2011, only had $14,000 in debt, and then 3,600 of it was credit card debt? I mean, it just would have been amazing to have it done there, but no. And wait, there's more. In 2012, I picked up another account. So up to 4 accounts, the balance $3,800. And the total account balance was $36,923. Now, in 2012, I got a Honda, which looks just like Roxy, but isn't Roxy. So in my I paid off my car video, I share with you that whole story. But in 2012, I got a Honda. And in 2013, I got a Honda. So again, check out that video if you want to see that story. So 2013, I had 6 accounts, increasing still, that had a balance of $3,400. And my total account balance was $40,111.70. Again, in May of that year, I got Roxy, the Honda that I have now and paid off last year, I think it was. Check out that video. And then 2014, 4 accounts, $2,978.13 of $38,652.54. In 2015, I have 4 accounts. And we're increasing here. So we went from $2,900 to $7,767.18 of a total debt balance of $34,224.41. In 2016, increasing still, not necessarily by the number of accounts, but by the balances on those accounts. 3 accounts, so down 1, but up from $7,000 some to $12,293.19. A total account balance of $47,055.50. And so that was my largest balance at the time by far. But in 2016, just things went a bit awry as far as my financial health goes. And now I'm about to share some personal things. I don't want it to seem like I'm pointing the fingers at anyone. Y'all know how relationships are, but this is the truth and this is my story. I just don't want it to seem like I'm pointing the fingers or anything. Either way, it's my channel. I can do what I want. Around mid-January 2016, we found out my dad was getting a liver transplant. So he had been on the list and a young lady had passed away, God rest her soul, and he was to get her liver. And so my parents then had to go to Virginia to get this surgery and then also to be there for aftercare. So we live in North Carolina. My parents were having to go to Virginia. So emotionally, mentally, I was a bit overwhelmed because I wanted to be there to take care of them. Of course, when they're close, I can go up to the hospital. I can go by on my lunch break. And so for them to be in Virginia with nobody around, I was concerned. And the first weekend I could, which was, I think they had left midweek. And then that very same weekend, I went up to visit and just check on them. Thankfully, my stepdad got through the surgery okay, but aftercare was a whole different thing. So I'm up there with my mom, and there was this charity that was sort of like a reformed hotel where if you were the loved one of someone who was getting care at the VA hospital, then you could stay there. So it was like a hotel thing that my mom was staying at, and charities brought in food for her to eat. So I was glad to get there and see that set up and just know that she was somewhere where people, could see her and were checking on her. And the first night that I was there with my mom, the guy that I had recently been seeing sent me a message, and the thumbnail looked strange to me. So I checked into it, and in that realized that he had started a relationship that I was unaware of. We had recently seen one another and spoken, so it was just overwhelming to not have been told that this was the case. So right then and there, everything started to flood at me. Self-admittedly, I began to self-soothe in a way that was detrimental to my financial health. And I, in a sense, just said, I am done with looking at these numbers. I am going to take care of myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, with no regard to my financial health. It was just an overwhelming time. And I'm sharing this because I understand. I want you to know that it has not been roses. It has not been easy. I have not managed my behavior at times during my debt-free journey. I would hear retail therapy, but I didn't understand it until that time in my life where you were just like, I'm going to buy this because I want it. This makes me happy, I think. So I'm going to do this. I don't care. My life at the time was bananas and pajamas. Again, at the time, I had my stepfather. I wanted to make sure he got through his surgery well. My mom, like, is she being taken care of? And then I had this relationship and friendship that was ending, that was like almost to myself, and I told you so, and that had to end. At the same time, that relationship occurred after my divorce. And I realized at that time I hadn't truly unpacked how I felt about my marriage and divorce. So it was a lot rushing at me. And so entering 2017, I went from 3 accounts to 8 accounts. My debt went from $12,000 to $26,797.47. And my debt was to reach an all-time high of $59,104.72. So, in June of 2017, I started the baby steps, saving my $1,000 emergency fund. In November of 2017, I started baby step 2 to pay off all my consumer debt. 2018. Moving on. Okay, so in 2018, I'm down to 5 accounts, representing $24,402.67. My total account balance of $47,336.57. In 2019, down to 4 accounts, $19,059.79 as credit card debt, and my total debt, $30,144.68. And in 2020, 1 account with a balance of $5,762.61. My total account balance, $13,821.58. And on September 9th, I became consumer debt free. Yes. Whoa. Looking at this, it makes me so grateful that I finally got it done. And like I said, I've had so many different kinds of debt. I call myself having some department store card debt. I had Macy's, Belk, Lerner, New York and Company. What in the world? Victoria's Secret. That was my spot for a minute though. I had a Jared gallery of jewelry. So on top of all that debt, I felt like I needed to go get me some diamonds. Can you believe it? I've had a Best Buy card. I've had some cards for the house, like Rooms to Go, Lowe's Home Improvement, all of the major creditors. You name them. Citibank. I think I had a Sears MasterCard at one point. That might have been the 9,000 one. I'm not sure. But I've had so many different, like the American Expresses and the Visas and the MasterCards. I've had so many of them. I have bought things like car repair, designer purses, Dooney, Coach. Oh gosh. Food, which is long gone. On credit, paying interest on food that is long gone. And it's so interesting, as I was looking back over these debt payoff plans, debt repayment plans, I found one in August of 2013 where I had mapped out every month over month, when I would be debt free if I started in August 2013. And that would have been June 2017 when I actually ended up starting the baby steps. And it's just so interesting that there are many times that I started and this time I actually finished. I'm not going to get emotional. So that is it in a nutshell. You already know it's done. It's over with. I'm happy. But let me know in the comments. Let me know how much credit card debt do you have at this point, and when will you pay it off? Let me know. Comment down below. Thank you so much for watching my debt story. I don't know what's coming up next, but like I said, I was living the life with debt. So there's a couple more subjects coming. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.